Hey everyone, welcome in. I am seriously so excited to have you here today. Are you ready to master what is easily one of the most rewarding, deeply flavorful, and honestly, historically fascinating berry bushes you could ever put in your garden? Well, let's jump right into it. Today, we are taking a deep dive into cultivating the blackcurrant, or as the botanists call it, Ribes nigrum. Whether you're holding your very first seedling right now, or you're a seasoned gardener looking to seriously bump up your yield, this explainer is your ultimate guide to turning your soil into an absolute blackcurrant paradise. But hey, before we get our hands dirty, let me share something totally wild with you. Did you know this incredible superberry was once strictly banned across the entirety of North America? No joke. It sounds like some crazy gardening myth, but it's 100% true. See, for decades, blackcurrants were outlawed in the US because they acted as an intermediate host for a really devastating fungus called white pine blister rust. And this stuff was literally wiping out vast forests of white pine. So, for a really long time, an entire continent was deprived of this amazing fruit just to save the timber industry. Crazy, right? Now, what's really fascinating is how that contrasts with its history over in Europe. Way before that North American ban, we're talking all the way back to the Middle Ages and the Roman era. The blackcurrant was incredibly prized for its medicinal properties. People practically relied on it as a functional food. They specifically used its massive vitamin C content to cure and even prevent scurvy. So yeah, it's a true survivor with a very rich legacy. And today, well, we are going to learn exactly how to grow it ourselves. So here is our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with preparation and variety selection. Then we'll move into rules for successful planting. After that, we'll cover watering, feeding, and care, followed by pruning for a rich harvest, protection from diseases and pests, and finally, the best part, harvesting and storing. Let's get to it. All right, Section 1, Preparation and Variety Selection. Laying the groundwork for a thriving bush. You know, a well-maintained blackcurrant bush will actually give you fruit for up to 15 years. So laying the proper groundwork right from day one is absolutely crucial for long-term success. And naturally, it all starts with the soil. Blackcurrants are, well, they're pretty picky about where their roots live. Your absolute ideal soil is a sandy loam that is well-drained, highly aerated, and naturally rich in phosphorus. On the flip side, planting them in heavy clay with poor drainage is just a guaranteed disaster. Why is that? Because clay holds water and completely cuts off oxygen, which inevitably causes root asphyxiation. It literally suffocates them. So if your soil is on the heavier side, you absolutely must amend it with sand or perlite, plus some rich compost about a month before you plant. You gotta give those roots room to breathe. Okay, once your soil is sorted out, you need to pick your player. We've got some of the most reliable and popular varieties to choose from here. If you're looking for large aromatic berries and really high disease resistance, Ben Lomond is a fantastic choice. Short on space in your garden? Go for the compact Ben Sarek. Now, if you want a vigorous, highly adaptable survivor, the Swedish Titania is an absolute powerhouse. Consort is going to offer you a great sweet-tart balance, and Baldwin, well, that's your classic go-to choice for fresh eating. Oh, and here's a pro tip for you. Even though these bushes are self-pollinating, if you plant multiple different varieties near each other, it significantly boosts cross-pollination, and that means much larger berries for you. Moving on to Section 2, Rules for Successful Planting, Spacing and Cuttings. Now that you've got your perfect soil and you've picked your variety, how do we actually get it into the ground so it thrives? Well, physical spacing is paramount here. These bushes really need airflow and sunlight. If you're propagating from cuttings during the winter dormancy, here is the exact, step-by-step science straight from expert agricultural sources. Step 1. Take a healthy, 1-year-old shoot and prepare a 20-centimeter cutting. You want to make sure you cut it at a 45-degree angle just below the bottom bud, because that's exactly where the rooting hormones concentrate. Step 2. Plant it in that loose, amended soil we talked about. You can plant it straight down or at a 45-degree angle, either works. And Step 3, pay attention, because this is the golden rule. Bury that cutting deep enough so that exactly 2 buds remain above the ground. Just 2. Those 2 buds will become your primary shoots, while everything else below ground is going to explode into this vigorous root system. All right, Section 3. Watering, feeding, and care. The critical root system. Listen, this is where most beginners make their critical mistakes. To truly understand how to care for a blackcurrant, you have to understand its root system. It's incredibly unique and honestly surprisingly vulnerable. First, just consider this number, minus 30 degrees Celsius. When a blackcurrant bush enters deep winter dormancy, it is practically bulletproof. I mean, it can easily survive freezing temperatures down to -30 degrees without any damage at all to its vegetative organs. It absolutely loves a cold winter. But, and this is a massive but, look at this next number, 10 to 60 centimeters. That is the entire depth of the blackcurrant's root system. Think about that. Despite being this tough, cold-hardy bush, its roots are incredibly shallow. And this means they are extremely vulnerable to surface-level drought, heat stress, and aggressive weed competition during the hot summer months. If that topsoil dries out, your blackcurrant is instantly in a state of panic. Because of those shallow roots, we have to follow a very specific care protocol. What you want to do is dig a shallow, 10-centimeter trench around the bush, matching the diameter of the leaf canopy. And when you water, please don't just sprinkle it. Give the bush a massive 50 liters of water right into that trench. You need to do this kind of deep watering at least once a week during the peak heat of summer, especially when the fruit is swelling. And perhaps most importantly, you must mulch the base with moss, peat, or old sawdust. Think of it as a protective shield. It locks in that moisture so the harsh sun doesn't just bake those shallow roots. Okay, now for a super fun DIY hack straight from our agricultural sources. Blackcurrants love starch. Watering them with a potato peel infusion guarantees remarkably larger berries. I absolutely love this tip. Basically, if you soak old potato peels in water and use that starchy water for your bushes a few times a season, that starch directly feeds the plant. The result? You get noticeably plumper, heavier berries. It's a brilliant, totally free, and eco-friendly fertilizer. How cool is that? But while we're on the topic of feeding, I really need to issue a very strict warning here. Blackcurrants are highly chlorophobic. What does that mean? It means they absolutely despise chlorine. If you're buying commercial fertilizers, you must read the label carefully. Avoid potassium chloride completely. It will burn and severely damage your plant. Instead, you must exclusively use potassium sulfate. That'll give the plant the potassium it craves for sweet berries without any of the toxic chlorine. And here's another incredible pro tip for care. While blackcurrants are self-pollinating, as we mentioned, having bees around makes a massive difference in your harvest size. If you're struggling to get bees to visit your garden, our sources recommend spraying your bushes with sweet water. Just take 1 tablespoon of honey, dilute it in a liter of water, and spray it on. It acts like this irresistible, sweet beacon for local bees, artificially boosting your pollination rates. Section 4, Pruning for a Rich Harvest, the 4-year life cycle. I know a lot of gardeners, especially beginners, are completely terrified of taking a saw or shears to their precious plants. I get it. But with blackcurrants, ruthless pruning isn't just helpful, it is mandatory if you want any fruit at all. Let's break down the logic of this 4-year life cycle. Step 1, always prune in February. Blackcurrants wake up incredibly early, sometimes before winter is even officially over. If you prune too late, you'll bleed the plant of the precious nutrients it has already pushed up into the branches. Step 2. Over the course of a few years, gradually build your bush so it has a total of 15 to 18 healthy shoots of varying ages. Step 3, here is the golden rule of pruning. The best fruit grows on 2- and 3-year-old wood. By the time a branch hits 4 years old, it is essentially useless. It's just stealing nutrients and blocking sunlight from the rest of the plant. So you must ruthlessly cut any branch older than 4 years all the way down to the base to make room for that fresh new growth. Let's move to Section 5, Protection from Diseases and Pests. Defeating anthracnose. Look, even the healthiest plants have enemies, and the blackcurrant's greatest nemesis is a really dangerous fungal disease called anthracnose. It targets the leaves, the stems, and eventually it ruins the berries with these gross, white, rotting sores. You kind of have to act like a meteorologist here because anthracnose doesn't just happen randomly. It waits for the perfect storm. You need to be on high alert when the air temperature hits right around 23 degrees Celsius, paired with a high humidity of about 87 to 88%. If your soil happens to also be highly acidic and lacking in potassium and phosphorus, well, you have basically just rolled out the red carpet for this fungus. So if you spot those telltale brown spots starting on the lower leaves, here is your battle plan. Step 1, prune off the infected leaves and burn them immediately. Never, ever put them in your compost pile. Step 2, remember, prevention is always better than cure. In early spring, before those buds even open, apply a 1% Bordeaux liquid or a copper-based fungicide to create a barrier. Step 3, during the growing season, if you're looking for an eco-friendly approach, our sources highly recommend biological fungicides, like Sporamax, applied every 10 to 14 days. That'll keep the fungus completely in check. Oh, and one more thing. Always disinfect your garden tools with rubbing alcohol between cuts.
Finally, Section 6, Harvesting and Storing, the reward for your hard work.
Ah, this is the moment. All that deep watering, the potato peel fertilizing, the ruthless pruning, it all pays off right here. About 60 to 70 days after flowering, your berries are going to turn this deep, gorgeous, glossy black. But wait, don't just start yanking individual berries off the bush. The golden harvest rule is to pick them in full clusters, exactly like you would pick a bunch of grapes off a vine. See, the skin of a ripe black currant is incredibly delicate. If you pull at the individual berries, you'll almost certainly tear the skin near the stem. And when that happens, the berry loses its juice and spoils super rapidly in storage. Just snip the whole cluster instead. It's that simple. Just to summarize the incredible rewards of this whole cultivation journey, a well-maintained bush is going to faithfully yield massive harvest for you for 12 to 15 years. And these berries, they are an absolute dream for culinary uses. Think jams, jellies, rich syrups, or honestly just eating them fresh right out of a bowl. If you decide to scale this operation up, they can be a highly profitable crop for farmers markets too. Just a quick disclaimer though, if you are planning to go commercial, always make sure to consult your local agricultural guidelines first. And that pretty much wraps up our deep dive into the amazing world of black currants. I really hope this explainer empowered you to get out there and start planting. Now, I have a quick question for you. Are you going to try out that crazy potato peel starch trick? And which of those varieties we talked about, maybe the Titania or the Ben Lomond, are you going to plant first? Let us know down in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next explainer.